In today's video, I want to share the secret key to end suffering in all your relationships. My name's Kute Blackson, nationally best-selling author of You Are the One. Relationships. One of the most beautiful yet also challenging endeavors as a human being in this lifetime. We want it, we want to meet the one, we want to be in love, we want to, and yet why is it that relationships can be such a source of bliss and joy and movies and poetry and music, and yet on another level, relationships can be such a source of confusion and pain and suicide and difficulty and frustration. Relationship, but so dichotomous. What is the key to relationship? Is there a key to ending suffering in relationship? I'm going to share a few with you today. Whether you're in a relationship, whether you want to be in a relationship, whether you've been in a relationship, one thing that intersects with a few other things that tends to cause suffering in relationships is the myth, the idea, the misconception that you own someone else. The idea of ownership. If I love you, if you're with me, you're mine. If I love you, you're with me, you belong to me. If I love you, you're with me, we're together, we're married, like you're mine. Not that you're my property. It used to be that way in certain cultures, right? But this idea of like ownership and attachment can create so much pain in relationship. It is a misconception. What we have to realize that every single person incarnates into this human experience, because every single person is a soul with their own purpose, vision, mission, lessons that they need to learn in this lifetime. Every person's soul has their own trajectory with the lessons that they need to learn in this lifetime. Everyone you attract to in relationship is really a mirror manifestation of yourself, and you attract to you someone in a relationship in the form of another person, because you and that person have certain lessons, certain karma, so to speak, certain things that you need to teach each other, grow through together, learn through together. Your souls have an agreement on some level, which is why you met. Your souls have some kind of agreement, which is why you drew each other into each other's lives. And what we often do in relationships is we go into relationship with the promise that the other person is going to love us, the other person is going to give us what we didn't get growing up. The other person, we finally met the other person, and now they're mine. This idea of the ego's idea, which the ego is wanting to possess something, to experience and attach itself, to create a sense of certainty about life, certainty. We're constantly seeking certainty out in the world and in our relationships. The reality is there's no ultimate certainty out there. The only certainty is inside. And so now we find someone and we attach ourselves and we move into a sense of possession, which triggers fear and frustration and jealousy, and what if they leave, and abandonment, and we try to hold on to another person and hold on to love in an effort to feel at peace within ourselves, in an attempt to feel some kind of security within ourselves. The degree to which your sense of peace, your sense of freedom, your sense of self-worth, your sense of internal security is dependent on someone else, on someone loving you, on someone being a certain way, is the degree to which you will not feel free, is the degree to which you will be a slave. This is part of what causes so much suffering, because the reality is you have no control over anyone else, even if it's someone you love. How often have we tried to make someone be a certain way, but we can't? So we have to look at a root. We meet someone, we want to own them. We want them to be ours. We want to possess them. We want to make a possession out of love. Love is not possessive. Love doesn't possess. Love allows the space and freedom. True love acknowledges another soul as an aspect of yourself. True love acknowledges another soul and their soul's journey. And the realization that this person, this being, man or woman, this person doesn't really belong to you. This is the real freedom. The real freedom is in the realization that they don't belong to you. They belong to the universe. They belong to the divine. If you believe, they belong to God. They belong to life itself. You belong to life itself. And your souls have met in this moment to exchange love and exchange lessons and serve each other's souls. But when you are connected to yourself and you are connected to the divine, you are connected to the source of life, and they are connected to themselves and connected to the source of life, then your relationship doesn't have to be a possessiveness. Your relationship doesn't have to be a cult of two. Your relationship, you and them, and your love can be held in a greater context in your relationship with life and with the divine. So realizing that you don't belong to each other, but you both belong to life, what that does is it frees up, opens up a deeper ability to honor their soul. When you're trying to possess them and hold on to them, it only creates suffering, because they may not be how you want them to be. They might leave at any moment. They might die. Something might happen. So many uncontrollable factors. But the more you realize they don't belong to you, they belong to life, the more you are able to honor their soul. When you can honor their soul, then there's the space to realize that you can there's more space to truly then just love them as they are and love the unfolding of their soul's journey, which you are here to participate in with them. And that's why it's like soulmates, the opportunity to serve each other's soul and soul's growth. But when you're in the ego, we think it's love, but it's possession. We think it's love, but we're trying to control. We think it's love, but it's manipulation. See them as a soul first and foremost. When you make that shift, there's freedom. When we're locked into a way of possessing their mind, they belong to me, there's this idea of, if you love me, because you're mine, if you love me, and this is where the suffering comes in, then you will do what I want. If you love me, you will give me what I want. If you love me, you will then do what I want. And what this does is it totally dishonors another person's soul's journey. The hope is you find another person, another soul, whose soul's journey is compatible with yours. Your soul's vibrating at a similar frequency, at a similar pace, growing at a similar pace, going in a similar direction for as long as that's possible, hopefully a lifetime. But that may not be the case. To me, in relationship, there is no failure. There is only failure to learn the lessons for which your souls came together. The real success of a relationship is the degree to which you both, number one, learn the lessons for why your souls came together to serve each other, and that you both, the degree to which you become the most authentic expression of who you really are. Real success in relationship is not necessarily how long you stay together, although that's one metric, but it's not the total metric, because you can be in relationship and not growing, not evolving, not being who you are, and be totally miserable, totally incompatible, going in different directions. Just because you're together for 50 years, that doesn't mean it's necessarily a true success. And so from this idea of possession and ownership, we have this myth, this misconception: if you love me, then you should do what I want. If you love me, it's nice when what you want and what they want both align. Beautiful. But the idea, and we spend so much time trying to manipulate ourselves, manipulate the other person to do what we want in order to feel love. This is not love. This is ego. This is manipulation. Please be aware. It only leads to suffering. So we have to ask ourselves, am I truly loving? Because loving is a commitment to serve their soul. Loving is a commitment to be authentic with their soul. Loving is a commitment to serve their soul's growth and evolution, which might in moments challenge your personality and your ego. So this idea of, if you love me, you'll do what I want. If you love me, you'll give me what I want. The other myth is, from the sense of possession, we come from a place of making another person responsible for our feelings and our happiness. The sense of, now that you're mine and belong to me, and I'm yours, you are now responsible for how I feel. You are now responsible for my happiness. And what we tend to do is we, again, try to manipulate them to be what we think we want them to be, so that we can now be happy, and then we end up suffering, and we end up feeling like disempowered and afraid and nervous and anxious, because the reality is you don't have control of another person, and living your life trying to control another person is not love. Love is freedom. Love is acceptance. Love is allowing. Love is patient. That doesn't mean you may not honor yourself. That doesn't mean maybe after a certain amount of time, maybe the person you're with, you and that person, you realize you're no longer compatible. And you may have, doesn't mean if stay in a relationship that consistently does not honor who you are, where your needs aren't met. We're not talking about that. That's a different conversation. But this idea, if you love me, you're going to make me happy. If you love me, then you are the source of my happiness. This is a mistake. When you make another person the source of how you feel, the source of your happiness, that doesn't mean they can't make you feel happy. That doesn't mean they can't make you feel beautiful. That doesn't mean they can't make you feel all sorts of things. But when you're depending on them to make you feel that way because you're not in touch with that yourself, then you will suffer. This idea, another person is the source of my joy, my happiness, my value, has to be dropped. Please be aware. The other thing is, from this place of ownership, ego is constantly seeking to get. And from a sense of ego, we go into relationship thinking of only ourselves. Our egos are constantly thinking of ourselves. What can I get? What can I get? What can I extract? If you go, here's a mistake and a misconception, if you go into a relationship thinking, what can I get from the other person? How can I get love? How can I get something? How can I get? You will always be left empty-handed. Usually, you might get for a certain amount of time from the other person if they're a giver. But usually, after 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, however long it takes for them to be sucked dry by your taking, by one's taking, it will usually backfire. So, realize, relationship is not really simply about getting, but it's about loving and giving. And when you shift your focus from what can I get from another person to I am here to love. Relationship is a path of love. What's important is love. And when you love, you never lose. Whether the other person gives to you or not, when you love, you never lose. Because when you open your heart, you open yourself to receiving. When you love, you opened your heart, and in the opening of your heart, you loved, and in the loving, your love muscle expanded. And if you really commit to being the love that is in your heart, then either that person will eventually shift and begin to realign and match you and start meeting your needs, or you may come to a point where you get to choose to move on. But it won't be because you waited, you won't be because you made them wrong or you depended on them to be different. It's really your own commitment to, this is who I am. The real truth is, we are not here to get love. The truth is, you are love. We've just forgotten through society and conditioning and media, you are love. And when you be what you are, whether someone gives to you or not, when you be what you are, deep down you will always feel fulfilled, you will always feel free, and you will attract to you a mirror manifestation of the love that you are and that you are expressing. So, don't seek to get love. Don't chase love. Remember, you are love. Be the love and see what happens to you in your life. Amazing friends, hope you enjoyed today's short video. Please share it with anyone in your life that you feel would enjoy. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, go to my website, Blackson.com. Enter your name and your email to receive some amazing free gifts on how to be free and finding your purpose. Also, join me on Instagram and Facebook. Until then, love now.